called advancing. Okay, so I welcome you all to this IIC conducted session called Advancing Your Future Opportunities for Your Higher Studies in USA. I would actually like to introduce our guest speaker for this session, Mr. Harsh Manoj More, a IITM-based student himself, who has successfully secured admission at North Carolina State University, USA. So I would actually like to request Mr. Harsh to share his experience and insights and how actually cracked the opportunity to go pursue the higher studies in USA.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that introduction. So let's begin. So today I'll be giving you all, I will be conducting this session on advancing your future. So we will mostly be talking about the future opportunities which you can get for higher educations in United States. So first, like, so as you guys all must be aware, like the uh, software or the IT industries is upgrading every day by day to some new technologies are coming in. Various different types of advancements are currently going on in our IT sector. So AI, data science, all of them are currently in very much boom, and various new things are coming into picture. So maybe why you should pursue your master. So one good thing can be you can get some good info, good insights about these upcoming new technologies, get some good hands-on experience on them, practice more on them, and you can always upskill yourself so that it's always better for one to learn new technologies, learn new things, and implement them so that maybe they can have a better job opportunities, or even they can even start their own startup and all those. So for that thing, I believe higher studies or maybe a master's or PhD is a very crucial step for one. And United States is mostly pretty famous for their universities, their research curriculum, the courses which are taught, the professors, and all the laboratories, and all the features, and all the different types of functionalities which you would be getting over there. So today I will try to maybe cover how you can step by step start your journey towards masters in United States. So what type of steps you should do, what things you need to take into consideration, what all things you have to take care of, and all those. So first step, in my experience, so what I did is, the first step for me was first find out your first research about the universities and programs which you mostly find interesting. So I have been admitted to North Carolina State University in United States of America, and for masters in computer science. So what should I research about, and how should I research about those particular different types of universities? There are various n number of universities in United States, but how should we target a particular university, or how should we apply to those? So what should you do is first check the university's rankings. There are like US global rankings available for that university. Make sure the university is quite reputed, and it has maintained quite some good rankings and all those. Then what should you search about that particular university? Then I would suggest search about their faculties. What faculties do they have? What type of experience those faculties have? What they have? What type of research they have done in past, and what type of subjects or courses they teach. Then there is one more thing, which is student faculty ratio. This is also quite important, because mostly I believe many other people who would be conducting such type of sessions won't tell you check for the student faculty ratio, but trust me, it matters, because if there are for every 20 students there is one faculty, then it is far much for better than for 300 students there being a one faculty, because then that faculty can give you some personalized attention. They can look at your progress. They can help you out. They can help you to build your roadmap towards your journey and all those. Then apart from that, like the alumni network is also a pretty important thing which you should be looking at. Like what are the who all have graduated from that universities? Are there any particularly famous people from the industry which you want to which are like your idol or something? So that's also there. Then apart from that, like what all laboratories, research type of work projects, what are going on over there, or what type of projects research they have done, or any particular communities or uh, groups are there which you are maybe interested in joining. And last but not the least, the tuition cost and living expenses are also quite important for one when they are trying to plan their masters in USA. So these are mainly the important things which you should maybe these points would maybe give you some idea like what you should be looking at. These points would help you to looking at particular universities. So the question would arise is how can I maybe know about these all things? So there are various sites on internet, like US News is a pretty famous website on internet. If you simply type a particular university name and along with that give a space and type US News, you would be getting links to that particular website, and there you could see the faculty student faculty ratio, university ranking, what type of tuition fees and living expenses you can expect over there, and how's the environment over there, and all those things are also pretty important. Then apart from that, there are like various other social media accounts present. So like Reddit is there, you can search over there, or LinkedIn is mainly pretty important, where you can search for the alumni or the alumni network. Then there are some other sites as well, like US News called as YMgrad or like that. But the best one which I would be suggesting is go and check out the university's official website, because they would be mentioning quite everything which is listed in these bullet points. And they would be also having some of the pretty important things noted down or on their website, like what type of courses they would be conducting. And so you can maybe try to look at those list of courseworks which would be taught over there, and you can choose over there. So one thing which is pretty good about US universities is they would be giving you a lot of electives coursework options. So you can choose your own you can choose your own interested courses, so that you can have your own roadmap or a build or path ready for you, which would be designed by you only. So that's a pretty cool thing about US universities. So mostly these are the points which I took under consideration while researching about the universities. So after this step, mostly many students would try to shortlist somewhere around 10 to 15 universities which are quite fitting with their preferences. So once you have those type of universities shortlisted, then check for the admission requirements, what all requirements are there. And this is also pretty much important, because many universities would require academic qualification of up to 4 years of degree. So our BS degree program is there, which can help you out over there, or apart from that, any particular bachelor's degree you are having. So that's a good thing over there. Then there are some tests which are mandatory, like GMAT or GRE is there. I have so the thing with me was since COVID, many universities have already waived off GRE for the current year and for past 2 3 years. But not sure whether that would be the same case for the next coming years. But many of them have also like started to take into consideration the GRE scores back again. So that's a pretty important test scores are there. Then there is another test which is TOEFL or IELTS. So those are mainly to check your English proficiency. So I have personally given TOEFL. I haven't given IELTS, but TOEFL. So if I have to talk about TOEFL, then TOEFL is a 120 marks based exam where there would be four sections: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Each of them would be of 30 marks. And it's I would say like it's pretty easy to score on TOEFL because the English is quite similar to what we use in our day-to-day life, and reading, writing, listening, speaking is something which we all are quite, I mean, well versed since our childhood, I believe. So so because of that, TOEFL is, I believe, it would be quite easy for many students to crack on. Usually, universities would be having a cutoff marks of say around 85 to 90. I would say anything above or equal to 100 is considered as a good score in TOEFL. And also, along with this, there are some universities who have prerequisite courses. So there may be like mathematics, or I mean, you should have covered mathematics or linear algebra in your 4 years of bachelor's degree. So there are certain universities who may have such type of requirements for their master's applications. So you should also check that out. And apart from that, if I have to say something about these test scores, then GRE is a test where there are three sections. One is analytical writing, which is kind of like writing two essays over there. You would be given 30 minutes and you have to write two essays. Then there are two different sections called as quant, which is basically mathematics, and the other is verbal, which is kind of like English. So these two sections are there. So a verbal section, the English section would be a bit difficult than what the TOEFL is, and I don't think like any of us would be using such a difficult English words in our daily usage. So that type of English grammar would be used. I mean, that type of vocabulary questions would be there in GRE. So you have to maybe try to mug up some different types of GRE vocab words, or there are various lists available online for those vocab words and all those. So maybe you can look out for them. So that would help you guys. And maths is also quite interesting over there, and pretty much I can say like up to 12th standard the mathematics which we had. So the maths would be quite similar to that. So overall GRE is considered a bit difficult than TOEFL, but yeah, many universities have already waived off GRE for the current year, so that didn't bother for many students. But yeah, TOEFL is the mostly important, and as well as the most mostly many universities would be looking at your TOEFL scores. So one might ask like why exactly this GRE TOEFL tests are required. So TOEFL actually checks whether are you proficient in English, so that you can understand English pretty well, because we would be traveling to a new country where English is going to be their first primary language. So for that reason, they need to see whether you are proficient in English and all those. And yeah, mostly, but yeah, I would suggest like if you are going to give like 2-3 weeks of preparation for TOEFL, you can easily crack on 100+ score, I believe. So that's a pretty good point about TOEFL. So once you have checked all these requirements for for those shortlisted universities which are matching your preferences, what should you do? So the next step is start preparing for all the application documents which are required. So there are multiple application documents which would be required for one to have. So one is official transcripts. So official transcripts is something like it's so transcripts are something which which would be having your detailed courseworks which you have took during your academic years, past academic years, and the grades which you have received, and your CGPA CGPA or pointer, whatever the term we use. So that would be displayed on your transcript. So that's there. Then there is this. So this is very important, the SOP, which is also called as statement of purpose. So this is the most important thing for your master's applications. So statement of purpose would be mostly it should be around 1.5 or 2 pages long for someone who is trying to secure an admission. So mostly what people would do is they would start adding different things about themselves, what they have done in past, how they have achieved particular thing and all those. But I would believe your statement of purpose should mostly target on why you have particularly selected this particular university. Why do you want to pursue your masters in this particular program or course, say like computer science? So okay, so let's take an example of NCSU and masters in computer science. So what my statement of purpose would be: so first line, give a brief introduction about uh, so just write some brief introduction about how the today's IT sector is evolving day by day, and because of that, you want to upskill and always try to keep on learning new things and all those. Then, in the next paragraph, I would suggest try to write down about your bachelor's degree, or what type of courses you have already covered, so which aligns with the program which you want to pursue your masters in. So maybe you can add about that over there. Then the third paragraph should be like maybe if you have some work experience related to the field you are trying to uh, you are trying to have your masters into. And then the fourth paragraph should be like how you, I mean, why you have particularly selected this university, what type of special thing, what specialties you found out about those universities. So what I did is I added a few things in this fourth paragraph about like the NCSU is having pretty good laboratories and research culture over there. So I added over there. So there is this Engage AI called laboratory where they would be conducting research on different types of AI applications. So you can add such things over there so that the person who is going to read your SOP would get to know that you have done some research about this particular university, and you really want to get into this university. So it kind of like reflects your passion for this particular university. So add those things. Also, apart from that, if you found out any particular professor interested, I mean his particular research work you find interesting, then also try to mention that like there is this XYZ professor whose research work in, let's say, ABC was pretty fascinating, and I would like to connect with him and try to work with him or something like that. So that type of things you can maybe add in your SOP. And after all, maybe a conclusion paragraph like what would you intend to do after completing your masters. Like maybe you can add like I would like to contribute to the society by building some application or startup in AI or in CS or whatever the program you are going for. So on the similar lines of that. So and trust me, so there is a few there. So all the points which I have mentioned over here, every point has a certain weightage assigned to it for your master's application, and SOP is the one which would be having the most weightage for your application of all these other points. So you have to make sure that the SOP, the statement of purpose which you are going to write, is grammatically correct. It sounds uh, pretty interesting to the reader as well as to you. Also, it reflects why you want to pursue at this particular university and all those. So make sure you write your SOPs pretty well. Then there is letter of recommendations. So mostly, ideally, many universities would ask you for at least three letter of recommendations. So what I did and my personal opinion would be try to, if you have some work experience, try to get two letter of recommendations from your college professors. And one from your current employer, or maybe your line manager, or whoever it is. Or if it's not I mean, if you are not working, then maybe take all the three letter of recommendations from your college professors. That's also absolutely fine. And in fact, there are certain universities who would ask letter of recommendation from all the three letter of recommendation from college professors only. So make sure you have worked upon some project, or you have worked upon some project under a particular professor's guidance. So it gives you an extra edge for that professor to write. So letter of recommendation is something professor would be writing on behalf of you, so that why should the particular why should that university be giving you admission. So they need to mention, like, he has done this type of research work with me, or maybe he has worked upon this project with me, he was a very good student, and uh, all those good stuff about you. And so this is also very important. These are also quite pretty important. Then comes your resume or your CV. So your resume can be quite similar to what you would be having for when you try to apply for your jobs and all those. So resume would be quite similar, where you would be mentioning your education your academic background, the projects which you have learned, projects which you have worked upon, then some extracurricular activities which you may have been involved into. And apart from that, the technologies, the new languages, or project, and what all different things you have been doing in past. So that should be there. Then standard test scores. So again, these are GRE, TOEFL scores. So the main thing is, for every US university, for almost every US universities, there would be hundreds and thousands of applications coming to those universities for each individual program. Let's say CS. So for NCSU, they might have received like 3,000 applications, but the university has to give admit to, say, about only 200 to 250, maybe even less for some universities, like 150 to 200, say. So in that scenario, there are like many students who have already applied, so they need some cutoff range to be, or some type of filter to add it on, so that they can maybe simply cut down the list. So for that reason, these test scores would be helping those universities out. So mostly I would say, like, try to the test scores won't be given that amount of weightage, but they are like your initial base criteria, you could say. Like, you should have at least 85 plus on TOEFL or something like that, then only your application would be considered. So though there would be some of those type of criterias added by various universities. So that's there. And apart from that, your passport and financial documents, or proof of funding, that you are able to fund your USA education. So these are the two. So passport and proof of funding won't be having any weightage to your application, but they are also a pretty important and necessary steps for your application. Yeah. So I would suggest on this page, try to mostly focus on your SOP. Write down it. Maybe have 2 3 drafts of your SOP ready with you. Ask some of your friends, your maybe if any professor or any previous alumni of that particular university, just go through that SOP. Try to have them proofread that, and maybe ask for any suggestion, any changes which they can maybe suggest. So this is the pretty crucial step where you would be applying to different universities, and the application process. So once you have all these documents ready with you, what would be the next step? Next step is simply go ahead on universities websites and start applying. So since in the, I mean, earlier, as I told, we many students would be shortlisting 10 to 15 different US universities. But again, many won't even be submitting your applications to 15 different universities. Then you have to do your own screening where you would be deciding like which all 7 8 universities you feel like are the pretty good fit for you, matches all your preferences, and you would be pretty confident that this university would be the one for you. And all those, once you have done that type of research, you can maybe visit the university's official website. There would be application form. So application form would be pretty basic, where uh, some simple information about you, your passport number, your address, which course you want to study, any particular professor you are interested into. Then there would be a section to upload all the previous documents which I mentioned, like SOP, LOR, resumes. So that would be there, and there would be an application fee which you have to pay. So sometimes this application fees can be a bit barrier, because there are many universities who would be asking you to pay like $150 just to apply. And $150 is roughly 12, I think 12 to 13,000. It would go around 13,000 or something like that. So that is a bit of cost over there. But yeah, mostly the application fee would be close to, you could say, 80 to $100. But yeah, there are some universities who may ask for such huge fees. And so you have to keep into consideration all the other factors which we talked earlier. And you should shortlist some 7 8 good universities which you feel. So one pretty good thing which I came across is, when you're trying to shortlist universities, try to go for 2 ambitious universities, then 3 moderate type of universities, and again 2 3 safe universities. So if you are gonna follow the research, I mean, how you should research about that particular university, then looking at the alumni and how the students have gotten, I mean, what type of previous students have gotten in the admission over there, what were their GRE TOEFL score, what was their background. You can maybe check that on LinkedIn, maybe about their work experience. You can maybe just skim through and go through their profile and try to compare your profile with their profile, and based on that you can maybe get a pretty much good idea about how those students, I mean, what their profile was and to which university they have been admitted into. So based on that, you can maybe target 2 3 ambitious universities where you feel like you can maybe give a try. Like, there are multiple universities like Stanford, MIT. Those are like extremely ambitious universities, but there are again some other good universities as well, like Cornell is there. Again, that is also a bit too ambitious, but yeah, you can always apply for them. Yeah, but then there are some moderate level universities, and there are some safe universities where you are pretty sure that you would be getting an admit from them. So those type of universities. So I would suggest so 2 ambitious, 3 moderate, 3 safe universities is a pretty good combination, which you guys can follow to while applying to different universities. And once you are done, I mean, you have paid your application fees, you're done with your application, then what should be the next step? The next step is simply wait for the decision from universities. So there is one trick which I would be giving you guys over here is, many universities, I mean, almost all universities are having some early deadlines. Let's say if you're going for shopping, then I mean, or any you are trying to do some booking, then there are some early bird discounts, right? So there are similar type of there is a similar type of thing over here called as early application. I mean, there is an early application deadlines also set by multiple universities, where if you are going to submit your application before that deadline, then many universities say that they would be give you your result within 2 to 3 weeks. So which is pretty good, because you would be knowing the decision pretty quickly, and you can act upon I mean, you can take the further actions pretty soon. So mostly there are two application cycles to which students would be going for. One is the spring, other one is the fall. Fall term we call it, most mainly, which comes at the in the month of August or September, like that. And the spring would be something in the month of January. So if you are applying for spring, then that would be in the month of January. I mean, the college would be starting in month of January, and for fall it would start in August or August, September, maybe tentatively in that range. And I would suggest try to go for fall. I mean, no hard and fast thing, but yeah, because many universities uh, would be having some extra seats in their fall admission, and pretty I mean, you could say very few seats would be allotted in spring application cycle. So fall is the one where majority many people would be applying, many students would be applying. So fall is there. And so for and oh, okay, yeah. And also, like, we have went through how you should start with your research about particular university till your application, and you should be waiting for your decision. So this, I mean, in this PPT, it just felt like these are like 4 or 5 slides, but it's kind of like an year-long process. So you have to maybe decide fast and act fast over there, because it's about like an year-long process when you would be taking your GRE TOEFL scores, and you would be submitting your applications. Let's say if you want to go for fall 25, which is like August 25, you have to be I mean, not hard and fast, but in my opinion, you should be having your GRE TOEFL scores with you by the end of, say, September or something. By the end of September, I mean, it's advisable, not. I mean, I'm not saying like strictly, but yeah, it's advisable to have them in your hand by end of September, say, and start your applications in the month of September or October. And by mostly the university application deadline would be in the month of December or 15 January, somewhere around that. So by then you should have applied to various universities, and give 1 or 2 months after that for all the universities which you have applied to hear a decision back from them. So typically the you would be getting your decision in I mean, till say month of April, you can expect a decision from university. Once you have a decision, you can maybe start with the next steps, which are like visa process, and course selection, then applying for housing, looking at the other orientation sessions, and all those things which a university might require. So you can start looking at those. So in a nutshell, the entire process would be, say, around an year-long process. So yeah, that's there. And so that was mostly all about like how you can try to roadmap your journey for masters. I mean, your applications. And uh, yeah, mostly that's all. If anyone has any questions or anything to share.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Harsh, for the very enlightening presentation. Like that was a very informative, and as a standalone student myself who is thinking of pursuing a masters in maybe in India or in a foreign country, like
Yeah.
it would help me and others too, like who attended the session. Now we are actually opening the floor to the questions. So if you have any, we can start. You can start asking, Mr. Harsh. Yeah, Ayush. Yeah, you can go ahead. Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Yeah, yeah,
audible. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, Harsh.
yeah. Hi.
So my question was, as you told about YMgrad, I was just
Mm-hmm.
browsing through that website. I
Yeah.
was looking for some MBAs and parallelly for the data science master's programs.
Mm-hmm.
So the top institutions in USA, they have a tuition fee of around $50,000,
Yeah.
and then the expenses, living expenses, around $10,000 to $20,000, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are the options that we can finance ourselves
Ah,
for this?
okay.
Education loans, or do
Yeah,
they
yeah,
themselves have something, some
yeah.
scholarships?
Yeah, right, right, right. So that's actually a pretty important question. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I guess missed that out. Yeah, so mostly many US universities would be having their course fees around $50,000 for an academic year. So that would be for 1 year, $50,000, so roughly around $50,000. And so you can so there are multiple ways you can show the funds. So one is education loan. So there are various banks like HDFC is there, then your SBI, Canara, ICICI, those banks are there. You can take education loan from them. If maybe your parents or any of the sponsor who you have some kind of savings, like, so that can be fixed deposit in savings account, or even like PPF is there. There's this thing called as PPF, which is Public Provident Fund. So if your sponsors are having funds in that type of in those accounts, so that those are also I mean, universities would also accept them. Many universities. So that those are the main two thing. Those are the main two. What financial document, I mean, yeah, loan sanction letter and the proof of funding, like savings account statement or fixed deposit, the receipt which you would be getting from your bank account, or those. So those are there. And apart from that, there is this one thing called as scholarship. So many universities do provide scholarships to their students. And there are like mostly, I believe, three type of scholarships given. So one is TA, one is RA, and the other one is graduate allowance. So these are also pretty important. And mostly for foreign students, these would help us a lot, because they would cover your tuition fees, or also give you some incentives for your studies, so that you can maybe cover some of your living expenses as well. So those are there. So TAs are basically teaching assistantship. So you would be working with some professor. So mostly what I have heard is TA jobs are, since we are talking about masters or MBA, those are like post graduation type of degrees. So when you apply for a TA type of job, you would be helping the particular professor with assessing undergrad students records, with that type of thing. RA is there, which is research assistantship. So where you would be doing some type of research under a particular professor, where the professor would help you with some incentive which you can get from them, which may cover your tuition fee. So there are multiple things, like some professors would give you like 50% of your tuition fee waiver. Some might be even more generous, like they would give you 100% tuition waiver, and along with that uh, couple of hundreds of dollars of uh, incentive for to cover your living expenses. So those are there. And the other one is graduate assistantship. So I believe that covers, I'm not sure exactly 100%, but I believe that covers mostly your tuition fees in the similar manner. So that type of funding options are available. I hope
Yeah.
this answers your question.
Now, I have
Yeah.
one more
So I just
following question.
Yeah.
So, as soon as we get the admissions, do
Mm-hmm.
the banks easily give the educational loans?
Yeah. So once you so the process is like, let's say if you have been given an admission to a particular university, you would be getting an admission letter from that university. You can maybe reach out to any of the nationalized banks, or even there are like some other finance type of, not exactly banks, but Prodigy Finance and all those options are also there. So they would be giving, I mean, they would sanction your loan within 10 to 15 days. So
Okay.
yeah, that's, I believe, enough for your applications.
Okay, and what do you think about which countries are good for masters? Like
Huh.
comparing USA and Germany or UK, which universities are
Oh,
better?
okay. Yeah.
Because in UK
Mhm.
the tuition fees is very low, right? Like compared to USA,
Yes,
it's very
yes,
very low.
yes, right. So, so if you compare like tuition fees, then USA has, I think, higher range in terms of cost of living as well as tuition fees. Germany, I believe their tuition expenses would be extremely low, but living expenses would be there. But yeah, I think that won't be close to what you would be spending in United States. And about UK, I'm not exactly that sure, but what I have heard is many UK universities would be offering you a 1 year master's program, and mostly US based universities would be giving you 1.5 to 2 years of master's program. I mean, there are some universities with 1 year of master's program, but yeah, so that's there. So I believe like if it's a 1 year of master's program, then you have to like complete all the coursework in a pretty short amount of time. So that may be a bit stressful is what I feel. But yeah, I mean, it's up to individual. And uh, the if you are talking about the current job scenario and and from that job opportunities point of view, then the market is quite risky in, I guess, in every country. But yeah, US has been a great place because of there are multiple job opportunities over there. And I believe like even India has now started growing in, there are multiple startups, and also, so if you are maybe trying to complete your masters and coming back over here, you can definitely be uh, given an opportunity at a pretty higher position, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask a follow-up question, like I have wonder many people may have,
Mm-hmm.
like what is the fee structure of the entire like MS program there, like in USA?
Oh,
So
yeah, right. So if you say for an academic year, mostly for universities, the total tuition fees would go around $50,000, you can say, from which, say, roughly about 35 to $40,000 would be your actual coursework cost. So that would be like when you are trying to select some particular courses, so that may go up to 35 to 40 $1,000 for an entire I mean, and apart from that, there are like I mean, books are different types of books are there. Then there may be some laboratory charges, or some of those type of charges over there. Then there is this one thing which is healthcare. So you have I mean, healthcare or insurance is there, which would be around $3,000 to $4,000. It's a bit costlier, but yeah, I mean, it's there. So $3,000 to $4,000 of your healthcare would be there, and some other expenses are also there. Uh, so in and all, you can say for 45 $50,000. Yeah, it may go.
yeah,
And if you are talking from just the coursework, then roughly say to 2,200 or 2,500 would be the cost for each individual course. I'm just telling it from what my university is offering, but yeah.
So somebody has asked, Dipanshi has asked, what about the internships there? Like, are they easy to find for
Yeah.
expenses and all?
Yeah, so internships are pretty important and they would be covering most of your expenses. That's true. But for many universities, they won't allow you to do a full-time internship for an entire year. You can go for an internship in the summer session or in the next year of your master's. But for the first year, many won't allow you because that's not the university requirement. That's, I believe, the visa, we would be going there on a student visa, right? So that's the restriction based on their visa status. But yeah, we can maybe go for some part-time jobs which would help you to cover at least some of your living expenses over there. And yeah, if you are saying like, is it easy to find an internship, then I would say like in USA, it won't be like what in India, the what the placement thing is in India, like where we would be having a proper placement committee who would be in communication with different types of companies. So they would be coming on our campus and giving us some jobs. So in USA, you have to build a good network with your different alumni and get try to get some referrals, and through those referrals you can try to find out internships.
Okay. So, like, what advice would you like to give to students who are actually hesitant about studying abroad due to like financial concerns and all?
Yeah, so that's a pretty good question. So, I would suggest like doing masters is always a good thing, because one thing, you always learn something new. You are going to upskill yourself, and one thing is for sure, which I can say, not for sure, but one thing I can maybe say with with some confidence is, after doing masters, you might expect a pretty good job even back here in India. I mean, if you complete your masters in, say, in India or in any other country and get back over here in India, you can get a pretty good job with a pretty good number of figures in terms of salary, I believe.
So, like you mentioned networking, right? So, like,
Yeah,
how important is networking in the
yeah.
context of pursuing education? Like how
Oh,
will you,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
yeah, how will you
networking.
network?
Yeah, so networking is very important, I would say, because one thing is, let's say if tomorrow you want to find an off-campus job opportunities, then if you are just simply going to a particular company's official website and starting your applications over there, job applications over there, I would say like many of you won't even get any response back from them. So if you know someone from that particular company who is already working there, if you can maybe ask them for a referral, then that would be a pretty plus point, I would say. So networking would help you over there, and even to shortlist and finalize your universities, networking is very important. So I would say there's this university. I mean, there are many universities, but the one to which even I applied to was Cornell. So Cornell, in their application form, they have a particular section about uh, do you know anyone from our college, maybe an alumni or current student who is working there, or any faculty who is working over there. So they have a particular dedicated section for them as well. So that itself indicates that networking is pretty important. And from their feedback, from the students who are currently pursuing their masters or over there, from their feedback, you actually get to learn and know more about the university uh, a lot. So that helps a lot.
So, now coming up about TOEFL and IELTS, like what strategies did you employ to get high score in those?
Yeah.
Like
So
some specific to you, like.
yeah, right. Okay, so there's one thing which is like for TOEFL reading, there are four sections: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. One thing about speaking I would suggest is try to make sure when you're trying to book an appointment, try to see if any festival type of season won't be there in that in I mean during your test date. Because what happened with me was when I booked my TOEFL dates, so there was a function going around in the close by area. So actually it was a festival going on over here, and because of that there was a bit noise coming from outside, so I wasn't able to hear what I mean during my listening section. I wasn't able to hear the particular what the particular conversation is going on over there. So maybe I would suggest try to book your dates. Just looking at the calendar, like there won't be any festival type of festive seasons going on. And apart from that, yeah, you can maybe simply try to practice reading the daily newspaper which you would be getting in your homes. The Hindu Times is there, then other newspapers are there, so you can read those type of newspapers. You can read different types of books. No matter what book you are reading, just maybe go through them, try to understand the gist of it. If you have read a page or a chapter from a particular book, try to write down a summary of that particular chapter. So that would help you to build your both reading as well as writing abilities. And again, if you have some friends or even your relatives, family members, try to talk them, try to have some good conversation with them about about various different topics. And so for to improve your speaking ability. So for speaking, the topics won't be like extremely difficult, like some geopolitics or something like that. It won't be like that. It's very simple, like what movie you like, or what book recently you have read. So maybe speak something about that, tell me about yourself, introduce, or not exactly introduction but something on the similar line, very pretty basic, the types of essays which we used to write in our school, I believe. So similar type of uh, things you have to practice for speaking.
So actually, we are bound by time, and I'm sorry to, but we have to conclude this session. So I would
Yeah.
again like to thank you, Mr. Harsh, for enlightening us and answering our doubts here regarding this master's opportunity in US and how to capture that. I would also like to thank every participant who has engaged with us, and I would like to thank IIC team, Industry Interaction Cell, for conducting this session, and SPC Student Placement Council for facilitating it. So I think we can conclude this session. This was a very good session in my opinion. Uh, a very deep thank you.
Yes, thank you all for joining.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, one second.